for a wee run on the C15 to the Black Isle, going as usual by Fowl Station. I took a wee walk down to Castle Craig, and then I went to Cullicudden Graveyard where I had my lunch. I pushed on to Newhall Mains where my granduncle farmed, and then went to Balblair Ferry. I stopped on the way back at Kirkmichael for a wee while, looked in quickly at Resolis Free Church, and then returned home by the Culbo Road. Right, I'm off on a slightly longer C15 journey. I'm hoping to go out to the Black Isle today, as far as Balblair Ferry. Right, I'm coming round by Eventon to avoid the busy A9. Right, we're coming into the village of Eventon. And the stupid 20-mile-an-hour limits that Highland Council is imposing. So I better try and ease back to that. Here is the village centre. It's changed a bit over the years, a lot of new building. Dear, the bus has got problems. Oh, I don't know. I'm coming along this old section of the old Eventon Road just to avoid the A9, and I think I'm going to be able to cut down soon. Get fed up with them closing off roads. It's going to be touch and go. No, we're going to get down. That is good. This road's getting worse and worse. Now, I'm not filming me going through the level crossing here. I've done it several times before. Well, that made it more interesting. You can see why I don't like going on the A9 and the C15. Look, I don't even like doing it on my scooter. It's just busy, busy, busy.
That old boat out there has been rotting away for many years. There's just a few timbers left. There's a lot more of it when I was a boy, and my mum as a girl remembers it being an intact boat. I think it was dumped there after the First World War. Maybe its owner never came back. So we're now at our Dully roundabout and we're coming on to the Cromarty Firth Bridge, which will take us on to the Black Isle. Here we're on the Black Isle and we're going to leave the A9. Look at the winds. They're just becoming beautiful now. Still got a wee bit to go. I think the English people call it gorse. I just love the noise of a C15 as it climbs a hill. It's what a bike should sound like. Now I'm coming down here to see if I can get to Castle Craig. I've only been at it once before, I think, when I was a boy, and we walked to it miles and miles and miles. Great view out to Ben Wyvis. There's the castle there that I'm aiming for. How do you get to Castle Craig? Well, I've come down to Castle Craig. It's just a shame we can't get into it now. When I was a boy, you could just wander around it. But it's worth seeing. It's an attractive old castle. I think it's 16th century fort. Right, we're going a bit hardcore now. This old road has seen better days. Now I'm in Cullicudden Old Graveyard and I'm going to have a wee bit of lunch. I should have taken my old stove and old kettle, but this one is just so much handier and faster. Now there's a great view from the churchyard here out over the Black Isle and then across to Easter Ross. In fact, I'm looking towards Invergordon and Alness. Probably that tree is in the road just now. But what a beautiful day. Well, what more could a man want than a run out on a BSA C15 and then cook your lunch in an old cemetery and just enjoy the peace and the quiet. So I've made my coffee. I can actually hear the road noise from the A9. And I've made myself a little pot noodle. That's enjoyable. So I'm going to enjoy my lunch. See you later. Now, is that not lovely to see all the celandine? Now we're looking way down the Cromarty Firth here towards Invergordon. And as I pan round, that across there, just across from us, it's quite a sprawling place, is Alness, which is our local village or town. The mountain just showing across there is Ben Tarzan, and then the hill there, probably the camera won't pick out the monument on it, is Fyrish. I can see traffic running all the way up and down the A9. There's a big pier sticking out there, that's known as the Santa Fe Pier. It was probably put there 40 years ago or more, and it was originally used for putting coated pipes wound onto reels on ships and then taken out to the North Sea to be put in location there. Pan round further and there's the village of Eventon, and away behind it, the big hill with the snow on it, is Ben Wyvis. And then we just pan around away up the Cromarty Firth, but we're not seeing as far as Dingwall.
This was my great uncle Alexander Mackintosh's farm, and before that it was his father with his brother's farm, Newhall Mains. I used to work my summers as a student on the farm. It was wonderful times. Believe it or not, I'm crossing an airstrip here. The farm buildings make up a posh hotel now. You have to have a wee bit of money to stop here. I stopped for just a few seconds to get a video clip.
Ahead across the water is Invergordon, where I spent my working life as a chemistry teacher. These rigs come in for winter, but I'm afraid now a lot less drilling being done.
Now it's a bit of a dive out here now. When I was a boy, at that hut there you would signal for the ferry, which was just a wee pedestrian ferry, and there was a sort of coloured square that you opened up and the ferryman would come from the other side. But just look at it now. It's just a mess. That's the pier there that you got the ferry from. Right, here's the Cromarty Firth looking down to Nig and the North Sutor. It's all very industrial here. And there's Invergordon across the water. I lived there for 2 years.
And if you take a bus when they're in, you've had it. Nice to meet you.
around in Kirkmichael churchyard now. And the stone beside me here is that of my great-grandfather and great-grandmother and my granduncle, the ones that farm Newhall Mains. My granduncle was a lovely man. I would love to see him again. And I'm at another grave here. This was the next door neighbour when we stayed there in my youth. He was William Mackay, but he was always known as Piper, because he was a piper during the First War, I believe. He was a character. He used to say in front of his wife that them that died at Mons were the lucky ones. He was an awful man. But these are lovely characters to remember. And also there, the smaller stone, is David Mackay, who was a boyhood friend. Just strange how life turns out. And behind me now is the old chapel of Kirkmichael, which has been restored. As a boy, this was just a ruin. And I remember myself and my cousin Martin and David Mackay that I've just talked about. We came down here to go to the graveyard at night in the dark. I remember taking a New Testament with me, just in case there was anything really evil here, such as the stupidness of boys. Cromarty can quite clearly be seen. Now that's the entrance to Newhall House. We saw another entrance when we were at Newhall Mains. There's a black gate there. Now the house ahead is Burnside, and that was my granduncle's house, and my granny stayed there. She moved there when her husband died in 1951. Come round, there's Newhall Mains there. That was the primary school. That's where my mum was educated and my uncle Hector. Don't think it's used at all now, which is rather a shame. I think this was called Gordon's Mills. I remember my mum and I visiting a lovely old lady, Daisy Munro, here. There were lovely characters in the past. Now here's the church where my grandfather was minister. That was the manse there. My mum was born in the manse, and so was Uncle Hector. I'm just taking a wee loop here. That's where we used to worship when we were on holiday. But I'm going to go back by the Culbo Road. We're seeing the hills from higher up.
we'll go down here by the Kilbokey Inn. Oh, that's me thinking I had indicators.